me asking him to be my vice president. I think that was like lower on the list of things that caught him off guard.
So apparently on Tuesday night, and this news is just coming out now, Kanye West, now known as Ye, met with Donald Trump again, bringing along a guest. I'll get to who that guest is and why that matters. But in the midst of this conversation, apparently Kanye West asked Donald Trump if Trump wants to be his vice president, as Kanye West is planning to run for president again. This story is just so ridiculous, but I got to share this. This video is bonkers. Let me play Kanye's video here. I will get to more analysis, including how Trump responded once this story went public.
I think the thing that Trump was most perturbed about, me asking him to be my vice president, I think that was like lower on the list of things that caught him off guard. It was the fact that I walked in with intelligence. So Trump is really impressed with Nick Fuentes. And Nick Fuentes, unlike so many of the lawyers and so many people that he was left with on his 2020 campaign, he's actually a loyalist. When he didn't know what the lawyers is, you'll still have your lawyer list. And when all the lawyers said, forget it, Trump's done, there were loyalists running up in the White House, right? And my question would be, why, when you had the chance, did you not free the January 6ers? And I came to him as someone who loves Trump, and I said, go and get Corey back. Go and get these people that the media tried to cancel and told you to step away from. He basically gives me this would-be mob-esque kind of story, talking to some kid from the south side of Chicago trying to sound mobby or whatever. He goes into the story about all that he went through to get Alice Johnson out of jail and how he didn't do it for Kim, but he did it for me. But then he goes on to say that Kim is a and you could tell her I said that. And I was thinking, like, that's the mother of my children. Since we know, and all the Christians in America that love Trump know that Trump is a conservative, we're going to demand that you hold all policies directly to the Bible. When Trump started basically screaming at me at the table, telling me I was going to lose, I mean, has that ever worked for anyone in history?
You're going to lose. Tell him he's going to lose.
I'm like, well, hold on, Trump. You're talking to Ye.
All right. So I'm going to get to more details behind the scenes. Someone who was in the room apparently leaked some of the conversation, what Trump was saying. And also I'll get more on the guest that was there with him, with Kanye West, the special guest. But first here, just on this video, what the hell is going on? Kanye West. Okay. Kanye West apparently running for president again, thinks he can win. Now, look, I know some people may think, oh, but no one thought Trump could win and he won. Yeah, but then they realized that was a terrible mistake and he lost the next time. And both times, by the way, he lost the popular vote. So the idea that Kanye West is going to win either as an independent, which would just split the vote largely on the right, or win the primary against Trump, I think is a bit ridiculous. So there's no scenario in which Kanye West becomes president. You can quote this, play it later. It's not going to happen. But the idea of Kanye West asking Trump to be his vice president, I wish I was there at the table just to hear that. Or not at the table. I wish I was a fly on the wall. Just to hear the reaction, to see Trump's face when Kanye West asked him that. Because, like, the power move there. Here you're talking to the guy who already announced he's running again, who was president, and you're asking him to be your vice president. It's just, we're talking about egos clashing here, which I guess turned into Trump eventually screaming at Kanye about how he's going to lose. It sounds like if that happened, Trump is worried about Kanye maybe siphoning votes off from Trump. I don't know. This is all just a big mess, but whatever. They're fighting. It's all great. Then again, I was going to say everyone wins, but no one really wins when you are platforming people like this. So from Yahoo News here, just when you thought Kanye West's far-right heel turn couldn't get any more disturbing, the former rap legend is now associating himself with white nationalist and Holocaust denier Nick Fuentes. In fact, the two recently traveled together to Mar-a-Lago to meet Donald Trump. The 24-year-old Fuentes has emerged as one of the leading figures of the far-right movement for his incendiary views on women, Jewish people, the LGBTQ+ community, and other minorities. Notably, he openly praises Hitler, believes that the Holocaust was a hoax, and is opposed to women's right to vote. He was also present for the Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville, Virginia in August 2017 and spoke at a Stop the Steal rally in Washington, D.C. on January 6. And now he's hobnobbing with Kanye West. So, yeah. Look, there are countless videos out there of Nick Fuentes saying the worst shit imaginable. You can go find them. I'm not going to spread his garbage here as well. But we're talking about Trump meeting with somebody who is the most extreme you could possibly get. Now, I don't think, like, people are freaking out about this for some reason. Trump already is associated with the worst people imaginable. People like Steve Bannon. Trump is one of the worst people imaginable. So him meeting with, Nick Fuentes, it really just helps Fuentes as opposed to doing anything or impacting Trump in any way. Trump already has many of these views, or if he doesn't, again, personally, what Trump's views are, who the hell knows? What matters is how he uses his power, how he uses his platform, and how he uses it is to prop up people like this and support the garbage they are saying. Now, on Trump's reaction to the news that once this went public, Trump responded to that news saying, statement from former President Trump in response to our story about his dinner with Ye and Fuentes. Quote, Kanye West very much wanted to visit Mar-a-Lago. Our dinner meeting was intended to be Kanye and me only, but he arrived with a guest whom I had never met and knew nothing about. And that is Trump's full statement. That's all he said. He didn't denounce Nick Fuentes in any way, didn't try to, separate himself from Fuentes or West and their views, because, again, there isn't really much of a difference here. Now, last thing, some of the behind the scenes of this conversation. So you may be unsurprised to learn that Trump liked Fuentes. In fact, it sounds like from reading this that he liked Fuentes more than Kanye West. So from Axios here, a source familiar with the dinner conversation told Axios that Trump, quote, seemed very taken with Fuentes, impressed that the 24-year-old was able to rattle off statistics and recall speeches dating back to his 2016 campaign. Paraphrasing the conversation, the source said Fuentes told the president he preferred him to be authentic and that Trump seemed scripted and unlike himself during his recent 2024 campaign announcement speech. If you remember, many Republican politicians praised Trump's demeanor in that speech as being a little more, maybe a tiny bit more toned down than his usual speeches. So this was not appreciated by Fuentes. Trump responded, quote, you like it better when I just speak off the cuff, the source said. Fuentes replied that he did, calling Trump an amazing president when he was unrestrained. There was a lot of fawning back and forth, the source added. Fuentes told Trump that he represented a side of Trump's base that was disappointed with his newly cautious approach, especially with what some far-right activists view as a lack of support for those charged in the Jan 6 Capitol attack. Trump didn't disagree with Fuentes, but said he has advisors who want him to read off teleprompters and be more presidential. Notably, Trump referred to himself as a politician, which he has been loath to do in the past. Fuentes also told Trump that he would crush potential 24 Republican rivals in a primary, including Ron DeSantis. Trump asked for Fuentes' opinion on other candidates as well. And so at one point as well, Trump turned to Ye and said, quote, I really like this guy. He gets me. So, and also from the source, to be honest, I don't believe the president knew who the hell Fuentes was. And I don't doubt that. Trump isn't on Twitter. He's not online. Many of you watching this likely didn't know who Nick Fuentes was. So the idea that Trump knew, I don't think he did. But that said, once he found out, it should be very easy to denounce him. Then again, even if Trump did denounce him, what does that mean? It doesn't change the fact that Trump is a terrible individual and will continue propping up individuals like that, like Steve Bannon, for example.